Did you pig out during the holiday? Eat a bit too much? Too much turkey? Pumpkin pie? Had a bit too much alcohol? Well, have no worries. I've made a guide where if you follow this step by step, we're going to get you back on track to crushing your insulin resistance, losing fat, and regaining your energy. So, we're going to detail exactly what to do in the next few days or week after the holiday so you get your body back into a neutral zone that allows you to get right back on the horse and keep making progress. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Rob. I am the founder of Healthy You. I help entrepreneurs, high-end professionals, executives crush their insulin resistance so they can lose fat, regain their energy, and overall improve their quality of life. And I make these videos because there's a lot of unhealthy people in the world today, and I don't want you to be one of them, especially around the holidays where people run into these different social traps that can utterly destroy their progress. So we're going to get right into it. Please take out a pen and paper and use this to make your plan for after the holidays or whatever special event that you have where you plan on indulging. So let's get right into it. So first things first, I'm going to keep hammering this home. Guys, this is a lifestyle change. This is not a how do I lose fat quickly or undo the damage in the short term and keep eating like crap. We are building a foundation. This is for people, basically professionals who are looking to make a lifestyle change in order to crush their insulin resistance long term. So, if you have been building a foundation, which means making the proper habit changes, which is consistently eating in a caloric deficit, prioritizing protein, vegetables, fasting for 12 to 18 hours a day. You're getting in your steps, you're walking, weightlifting maybe a few times a week, or you're just getting in some extra steps. You're prioritizing your sleep, minimizing snacking, not drinking calories. Like, these are all the things that you need to input into your lifestyle, and this is where the bulk of your results are going to come from. Okay? And if you even prioritize doing this outside the holidays, you'll likely be fine. That's why I am not a big advocate of trying to do these drastic changes around special events or holidays. You can indulge for a day or two or even a few days. As long as you hop back on the horse right afterwards, you'll be fine. Hop back on the horse right afterwards. Don't go crazy during the holiday and you'll be good to go. But these are some extra things that you can do to minimize some of the damage that you've likely incurred during the holidays. But it all stems off this. Do this whenever you throughout your daily lifestyle, and you won't need to worry about indulging during the holidays because you'll always be fine. But if you simply just follow the things on this page right here and do this the day after or start the day after whenever the holiday or special event is, you'll get right back to where you were in a few days to maybe a week tops. But here are some extra tricks that you can do. So the biggest one, and the most important, is to plan and prepare. Now, ideally, you did this before the holiday, right? Which is start preparing 3 to 7 days in advance. You know, what's the food you're going to be eating? How long will you be fasting? How much exercise? How busy will you be? But if you didn't, this is something that you want to plan on the day of the holiday of what you're going to do afterwards. Like, what food are you going to be eating to get you back to where you want to be as quickly as possible? How much food are you going to be eating? How long will you be exercising? So if you didn't do this in advance, you want to do this the day of the holiday or literally the day after. And you're going to plan exactly what you're going to be doing to get you back on track. Like I said, it can be the stuff in the last slide, but it can be a more detailed version of that. And ideally something probably a little more, drastic to get you back to where you need to be. But planning and preparing and modifying is the most important thing. That is going to be the biggest tool in your war against insulin resistance, fat gain, and metabolic disease. And this goes across the board, not just for holidays, but for your general lifestyle. Plan and prepare. Now, the rules of engagement in this particular case is you're going to want to implement this for several days after the event. So you want to start literally the day of the holiday or like the day after. You want to implement your plan to get you back to where you need to be, right? Because the whole goal is to mitigate any damage that you incurred from excessive eating or drinking, and this will help you not feel as guilty. All right, so you want to implement this either the day of the holiday or the day after. So what are we going to do? Eat less calories. So switch to foods that are lower in calories or low calorie alternatives. So you're likely already doing this if you've built the foundation that I told you before. But now you want to probably take this into a more, drastic scenario. When I mean drastic, I mean just lowering your portions a bit. So you want to still stick to your high amount of protein and veggies, but if you are having carbs after your protein and veggies, like perhaps like rice, beans, some fruit, you may want to shorten those portions or reduce them a bit or take them out completely to reduce the calories and any carb load that you might have on your body. So like lessen the portions, lessen the carb and fat intake because the fat is very calorically dense. You want to take that out. All right. Maximize your protein veggie intake. And if you really want to get really drastic, you can replace whole meals with just a shake. You could do that for a few days. I've done that where you just take, instead of having like that big meal, and these meals were only going to be a few hundred calories, but a shake, for instance, that contains some vegetables, protein powder, some fruit, supplements will probably only be like 200 to 300 calories. And you have that 2 to 3 times a day, and it's pretty stuffing, you'll be good to go versus, having 3 meals, which might end up being a few hundred more calories. So this allows you to get a lot of nutrients in, but still as well get in a lot of nutrients, but you're consuming less calories. But remember, this is only for a few days after the special event to get you back to where you need to be quicker. This is something that you can also do too, and this is personally what I do, is I fast longer. The day before, the day of, and the day after the holiday. So I'll go on, I'll sometimes even do a 24-hour fast. You don't have to do that, but if you're usually used to fasting 12, 14, 16 hours, maybe try an 18 plus hour long fast. And then, begin your fast at your usual time. So make your eating window shorter and fast longer. So maybe instead of doing your 16-hour fast, you maybe do an 18 to 20-hour fast. Instead of your eating window being 8 hours, it's maybe now 4 to 6 hours. Instead of having 3 meals, you're having 2. All right. And, ideally, if you've pigged out during the holidays, you're implementing this right after. And this makes it way easier to eat less calories and helps you mitigate any damage from excessive eating that might take place. This is also very important, which is breaking your fast. So this is especially on the holiday. So we're assuming that you've already pigged out on the holidays, and now you're on the day of the holiday, it's ending, and you're planning how you're going to get back into shape. So this is something that you're really going to want to stress. Now, you're likely already doing this anyway, but we're doubling down on breaking our fast with protein and vegetables. Okay? And this is likely what every meal should look like. If you are eating any carbs, desserts, salty snacks, you're eating them last, you're eating them in very small quantities. Ideally, you're taking them out completely, at least for a few days. You're going to want to have large plates of protein and vegetables, okay? And like I said, if you want to replace this completely with shakes, you can do that. But we are breaking our fast with high protein, high vegetable meals because this, once again, keeps our blood sugar spike next to none, and it's very low in calories. Now, if you have hunger that arises during these long fasts after the holiday, there are several things you can do to curb that hunger. One of the things that you can do is you can break your fast earlier. You can simply break your fast earlier, but do this with a smaller meal. Like I said, protein and veggies, or you can do it with a shake, right? Just don't do it with huge portions that you will, be stuffed with throughout the day. You want to keep these portions moderate sized. So have a few low-calorie snacks on hand like crackers or popcorn, and make sure to go on long walks after you're done eating to mitigate any of those blood sugar spikes. So if hunger arises, just once again, you can break your fast, but make sure it's with protein and veggies or with a shake. Make sure to get in good steps if the hunger arises or right after you eat, and drink a lot of water. This helps a lot. You squeeze in some lemon, it gets some extra electrolytes. This helps curb hunger big time. Also, you want to increase the amount of physical activity. So, ideally, if you can get in some extra workouts, get in some extra steps. If you're used to doing 5 to 7,000 steps a day, maybe you can aim for 8 to 10,000 steps for the next 3 to 7 days after the holiday, because this will allow you, instead of burning 2 to 300 calories, you're now burning 4 to 5, 600 calories throughout your day, and you're eating less. This will allow your weight to get right back to where you need to be within a matter of days. All right, as well as you will just feel better, you'll feel lighter, and overall your body will be able to use the calories that you gained on that special event or holiday. There you have it. If you follow all of the tips and tricks that I mentioned in that previous slide deck, you should be able to mitigate any damage that you incurred during the holiday or special event that you had. But always remember, if you are following those foundational principles that I mentioned at the beginning, where you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're fasting, you're getting in sleep, you're prioritizing walking, rest, fasting, minimizing snacking, and not drinking calories, you'll pretty much mitigate all that stuff anyway once you get back on track. It just might take a week or two, but you'll ultimately be fine. This is if you want to fast track that and take a little bit more of a, I would say, drastic approach. And I do this usually every other holiday. It personally has worked for me and several of my clients. So this is something that you can implement as well and give it a try. But remember, it's not exactly necessary, especially if you're making the changes already. But anyway, I hope this helped you guys. Please follow me for more and have a great holiday.